Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, my name is Demigod Shmurda here, and welcome back to another video, and welcome back to another episode of Arrowverse Analysis. Malcolm Merlyn is often considered to be one of Arrow's best villains. As the first big bad of the series, Malcolm proved that Arrow was willing to come out swinging and put their best cards on the table by making a charismatic, determined, and slightly sympathetic villain played by a big-name actor. The Arrow crew really put all their eggs in his basket, and it paid off with how well received he was as a villain. This is not that guy. The further into Arrow you get, the less that Malcolm begins to feel like the character audiences became invested in during Season 1. While you could argue this issue began when he was brought back in Season 2, it was Season 3 that really emphasized that Malcolm was completely different now. At least in Season 2, he was trying to be close to his kid. Threats from the League of Assassins be damned. In Season 1, Malcolm's goal was to destroy the Glades, the low-rent district of Starling, because its rampant corruption caused the death of his wife. In Season 3, however, his goal has changed to taking over the League of Assassins as his first step towards world domination. In Season 1, Malcolm is a cunning master planner that keeps his cards close to his chest, constantly checks his servers for Trojans or people spying on him, and takes all necessary precautions to ensure the success of the undertaking. In Season 3, his big plan to make Oliver fight Roz is fucking nonsensical, and the tools that's used to accomplish it literally come out of the writer's ass. In Season 1, Malcolm has a tragic backstory where his wife was murdered and he became estranged from his son as he desperately tries to mend that broken bridge. And in Season 3, he literally becomes an abusive father. And once you take away the tragic backstory, you have to wonder if this is even Malcolm anymore. Malcolm Merlyn cares about his kids unconditionally, so seeing him do what he does to Thea is an utter and unapologetic derailment of his character. And honestly, I think bringing Malcolm back in any capacity was kind of a bad idea because the guy already served his purpose in Season 1. He adds nearly nothing to the later seasons that he shows up in, and the writers have absolutely nothing new for him to do. All he does is show up, cause chaos in Team Arrow, argue with his daughter, rinse, repeat, every new season. And from Season 4 onwards, he flip-flops loyalties so often that it's hard to see a consistent direction his character is heading in. Then again, that implies the writers ever had a plan for what his character would do in the first place. You know that saying, you can't have too much of a good thing? Well, whoever wrote that clearly never saw Malcolm Merlyn on Arrow. There's only so much of John Barrowman's beautiful face we can take before even that loses its luster. And knowing what's to come later in this season, I think this is the episode that begins Malcolm's character derailment. Or at least it was the first episode to which it became apparent to the audience. While you might want to make the argument that this is a natural progression of Malcolm's character, ask yourself what happened in between the Season 1 finale and this episode that would cause such a drastic change. There's a difference between Oliver's 2-season-long character arc of going from a dark hero to a real hero and what happens to Malcolm off-screen in between seasons. One of them is a beautifully woven together character arc showing just how much people can change, and the other is some contrived bullshit that the writers thought would be edgy. But really, all changing Malcolm's characterization did was make him go from a legitimate villain into a laughingstock and tarnish the name of a once great show. Then again, this is Arrow Season 3 we're talking about. This is far from the only bad decision the writers made, and it's not new information for Arrow fans. If this is your first episode and you're wondering how my rating system works, there's a detailed description down below, along with a link to all my other episodes of Overanalysis. But I encourage that you watch this one first. I'm sure you'll still enjoy it. With that out of the way, let's return to the Overanalysis. Arrow producer Mark Guggenheim joins Wendy Maracle, who previously wrote Salvation, to pen The Magician, which first aired on October 29th, 2014, and was directed by series veteran John Baring. A lead on Sarah's killer brings Nyssa back to Starling City as she teams up with Team Arrow to track them down. Turns out the killer may be Malcolm Merlyn, and Nyssa and Oliver get into a fight about whether or not to put him out of everyone's misery. You know, fun fact, I'm so nearsighted that the text in the corner of the screen, like I'm just checking my layout, The text in the corner of my screen is blurry from this distance from my computer. So I wore my tie-dye kneel before Bebo shirt with the express intent of people seeing it. And no one can. No one will be able to because I can't see.
Did Thea seem different to you?
Oh, that's a new shot. That's a new shot. Oh, because now we've cut into the episode.
Where is Sarah?
She came here for the League 2 weeks ago.
Something I have to tell you.
Oh, Katrina Law's expression really softened there, dude.
It was an arrow, wasn't it?
How do you know that? Why does Waller want me to take this guy out?
Follow orders and eliminate the target.
So I'm just a gun that she can point at things she doesn't like?
Yes!
That's exactly what you are.
Oh, Maseo is just straight up saying it. Okay. Oh, Laurel still has the scars from last episode. They're cutting away because she can't actually speak Latin. I believe Latin is the language of the League. It's actually Arabic, dipshit. Not the only time something's gonna get dubbed over in the Arrowverse, though. It's not even the only time that it's happened on Arrow so far. The sentiment, though, is that she's paying her respects to Sarah.
You have my condolences and that of my father, Rachel.
I don't want your condolences, and I definitely don't want your father's.
In The Scientist, Moira calls him Ra's al Ghul. Nyssa here calls him Ra's al Ghul. And the thing about Arrow is that it flip-flops in between the two names so often. I swear it's every other line is a different pronunciation. I swear to God.
I know you grieve, but so do I.
That's true. Yeah, Laurel does not know that Sarah spent a year on Leon Yu. She also does not know that Sarah and Nyssa were together.
When I found her, I protected her. I took Sarah into my heart and I loved her with all of my soul. That jacket, I gave it to Sarah as a gift.
Oh!
You are not fit to wear it.
Oh!
Are you ready to talk?
Is this the first time that we see Nyssa's scimitar, or am I just being crazy?
You said Sarah was in Starling for the League. That suggests her target is also her killer.
Sarah came to Starling to confirm rumors that an enemy of the League was here.
Who?
Malcolm Merlyn. He's alive. My father released him from his obligation to us with the understanding he would abide by its code of conduct. Merlyn's undertaking violated the League's principles.
See, I still don't see how. It's established later this season that in order for Oliver to complete his ascension to Ra's al Ghul, he must do what every previous Ra's al Ghul has done and destroy his home. So, you can argue that the undertaking was that, but for Malcolm. But I guess the deaths of 503 people only go against League conduct when the person is no longer in the League of Assassins. Either way, I don't like that reasoning. It is not good enough to explain why Malcolm is an enemy of the League. Here's an idea. That Lazarus Pit destroying elixir from season 4 that Nyssa literally pulls out of her ass. What say Malcolm got his hands on that and threatened to destroy Ra's al Ghul's eternal life? I'd say that would make him pretty enemy of the League of Assassins in their eyes. But I guess they hadn't thought that far ahead. But still, there's got to be something that is a better reason than the undertaking violated the code of the League of Assassins. That's dumb.
You said you found evidence on her person?
We found a blank piece of paper in Sarah's boot.
Because it's not blank, it's written in ghost ink. AKA, the language of the fucking list.
My father had a notebook with hidden writing just like this.
A notebook he received from Merlyn, I imagine.
Sarah's handwriting. Notes from her surveillance of Merlyn.
I've been saying this whole time that this season feels like a final season. This is a pretty big piece of evidence in that favor. Why, of all things, bring back the invisible ink on the list? That is only ever talked about in 1 or 2 scenes in season 1. There is no other reason to do that other than to make a callback to season 1. Blatant season 1 callback in your final season is blatant. That's another final season evidence point as far as I'm concerned. Bit of a looser one. I'm not going to say it's the strongest piece of evidence in the world, but what other logical reason is it to bring this type of ink back?
Dad, help. Question mark.
Sarah reached out to Lance.
If Lance knew Merlyn was alive, don't you think he would have told you?
Only if she told him. What matters is what he told her.
I have to talk to you. It's about Sarah. She called me. She said that she was looking into something.
Kenzie Jansen. I hooked her up with his last known address.
I just want to reiterate, Lance does have a right to know. But at the same time, I understand why Laurel's keeping the secret.
Jansen's a Buddhist monk. 9 years ago, he was facing deportation to China. Merlyn bankrolled his defense.
You will tell me where I can find Malcolm Merlyn, or I will kill you where you sit.
Take your shot, Nissa. Bitch, if you had just done that 3 seconds earlier, instead of letting him introduce himself, the episode would be over and you would have gotten your revenge.
Not before I hit him with an arrow laced with particulate nanotechnology. Felicity wrote a program that tracks the nanites using GPS.
1, that's not a thing. 2, I just realized Felicity has not been in a single scene of this episode yet. And I also, in this moment, just realized why, because she's in Central City right now. And since this episode takes place, like, canonically the next day, yeah, it makes sense that Felicity's not here. She's on a train out to Central City.
You had a shot at Merlyn and you didn't kill him?
I'm not a killer anymore, Laurel.
He killed Tommy and 502 other innocent people. How many more people are gonna have to die before you put him down?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Batman-Joker dilemma.
Let me speak with her.
No, Nissa, that is a bad idea! That is a bad idea!
Copy that.
Ooh, clean transition! Damn. Put that one on the kill counter. I did not expect to use that counter this season.
I loved her too.
Sorry for your loss.
Oh my god, Laurel's showing some damn humanity? Holy shit, that's actually not that surprising anymore.
Oliver should have killed him.
Yes.
Yeah, see, Nissa agrees with you. She ain't gonna argue on that point.
If Oliver catches up with Merlyn, he's going to let him live or let him go. You can't let that happen.
Merlyn stopped. I've got his position. You want me to share this with Nissa?
No, she's liable to put an arrow in him before I can get any answers.
Agreed.
And see, Dig is right. Oliver and Dig are right too. Wait. Is this the building where Oliver and Barry fight? See, I so want to skip to that episode and check right now. But I won't. I'm gonna wait until I get to that episode and then bring that point up. I still have 3 more episodes to go after this one. I am resisting every urge in me right now to exit this episode and go to the Brave and the Bold. I have to wait.
Hello, Oliver.
Wait, is he in his office? What? How?
We need to talk.
Nelson Plaza at Coldwater and 5th, bottom of the stairs. It's a very public place. You'll want to leave your mask behind.
Getting a lot of these spinny shots in this episode. Lot of rotating camera.
You think I killed Sarah Lance?
How else would you know she's dead?
Razago has placed a blood bounty on my head. Why would I try to get it lifted by killing the love of his daughter's life? It's illogical.
Thank you so much, Malcolm, for proving me in this intro right. I can't make this up. I wrote the intro before I watched the episode again. Motherfucker acknowledged my point.
Thea, during the siege, she was almost killed by one of Slade Wilson's Miracruz soldiers. I protected her.
Thea made it out before the attack.
Unfortunately, she didn't make it out, but you wouldn't know that because you were out being the arrow.
Stay away from her. You're a killer.
Yes, I am, but I swear I am not Sarah Lance's killer.
You know, I always forget that Starling City also has a Jitters. Or I guess it's not a Jitters, it's the Grind and Jolt Cafe, but this is in fact the same Jitters set as is on Flash.
The night of the siege, you were at the train station.
Got attacked by one of those crazy masked things, but he got shot by a cop, I think.
It was Malcolm Merlyn. If he was going to try to contact you, he would have done it by now, okay?
She left her coffee. Why would you pay for coffee and then leave your coffee?
He swore to me he didn't kill Sarah. I believe him, because he swore to me on his daughter's life.
We had heard rumors Merlyn fathered another child.
What is Nissa's insane power stance here with the one leg for? What is this?
My sister is Merlyn's daughter. That is the reason he came back to Sterling City. He swore to me on her life.
And I swore an oath of my own that I would see Sarah's killer brought to justice.
We have to stop her. Do we? Listen, I understand why you can't kill Merlyn. All of the reasons.
Oh, I heard the door close in the background. That's good attention to detail.
The world is a better place without Malcolm Merlyn in it.
I don't disagree.
You made a vow not to kill. Nyssa didn't.
This then gets into the argument of negligence. Oliver knows that Nissa's gonna go kill him and doesn't do anything. Is that blood on Oliver's hands? Also, are we even sure that Nyssa can kill Malcolm? I do believe she herself believes that she can't beat him. Either way, based on Oliver's characterization in Season 2, if someone dies, either Nyssa or Malcolm, he's gonna see that as his fault if he doesn't stop it from happening.
I killed a man today. I don't even know the reason. Sometimes it's better that way. I'm focused on what's most important.
Also, they're having this conversation in full earshot of Akio.
My dad said I shouldn't let you use my computer.
Why don't we make a deal then?
You don't have anything. You're a bum.
Know that stash of candy that your parents keep in the cupboard above the fridge? I'll swipe you 2 pieces.
5.
3.
5.
Fine, 5. Give me the computer.
I need to meet with Waller.
Waller's gonna want a reason.
Ferris Air, Flight 637.
Here's another thing. Why the goddamn hell would they confirm that that's Waller that shot the plane down? They have no reason to do that other than because this is the final season. It's again another Season 1 callback. Or I guess, you know, they did confirm it in Season 2, actually, when they showed her walking in with the red heels, but still, why would they bring it up again? Because this is the final season and they're trying to tie up those loose ends. Or just doing callbacks for the sake of callbacks. Either way, it's more final season evidence.
Get away from him.
I'm not here for him.
She stands up to Nyssa, though, dude. That's crazy. Oh, is it the purple smoke? It is the purple smoke. League of Assassins calling card.
I did get this off a traffic camera. Sarah never said much about the leak, but she did say that their communication system was a little outdated.
This is sending Malcolm a message.
I know you're not a killer, but he is. Whatever else he means to you or to Thea, know that.
Oliver knows. But he also knows that he's not gonna orphan Thea again. How many times did I say Thea was orphaned in this show so far? 3? If you count Moira going to prison, that is the 3rd one. Or I guess the 2nd one before she dies, but at that point you're just arguing semantics. Malcolm is a shitty human being. He deserves to die. But if he does, it doesn't matter what kind of father he was to Thea. He's still her dad. That would be another hit that Thea has to take.
My quarrels with your father, your true father, a Saher, the magician.
Roll credits.
You know what he's gonna do to you when he gets here.
Also, Thea is not even playing possum here. She is straight up saying, yeah, I've been training with Malcolm. I know what he's capable of. He's gonna fucking kill you. Not even hiding it on the off chance that she might tell Oliver. Although I guess she doesn't know that Nyssa knows Oliver, so.
My father may be the demon, but yours is the devil.
Oh, that's a great line. Oh, nice kick. Oh, nice long cut, yes!
There's a misunderstanding the 3 of us need to clear up.
A conversation I'm eager to have over your rotting corpse.
Damn, Nyssa. I'm sorry, what the fuck was that?
Do it, Oliver. He killed Sarah. Tommy!
How does she even know who Tommy is? Well, I mean, she knows about everything about Malcolm.
What are you gonna do?
Arrest me? We were trained by the League. No prison can hold us.
Not even your one on Lian Yu.
How the hell does Malcolm know that? How the hell does Malcolm even know about Lian Yu? Him and Thea were already out of the country by the time that Oliver, Diggle, and Felicity were on that plane to Lian Yu. I'm sorry for questioning it, but what? Malcolm has eyes and ears everywhere, only explains so much. How the hell does he know about Lian Yu?
Which leaves you with only one option to break your vows. Kill your sister's father.
And he can't. That's fair.
I may have deserved that.
He may have deserved that.
So long as Malcolm Merlyn is in my city, he's under my protection.
Oh, fuck you.
You have made an enemy tonight.
Just for the record, in a serious fight, Nyssa would fold Oliver. Like, I'm talking fold. I actively do not like Oliver beating League of Assassins level soldiers in these early seasons because we have not established yet that he was trained by Talia al Ghul. Once season 5 comes around, they can retroactively make that make sense. But season 5 has not come around yet. So Nyssa would fold Oliver like a deck chair, and it would not be a challenge. What the hell does Oliver think he is saying here? Malcolm Merlyn is under my protection. Motherfucker, you would get destroyed by Nyssa. That one time that you beat her was a damn fluke. She underestimated you. She went easy on you. Whatever bullshit explanation the writers want to pull out of their ass. There is a reason Nyssa lost that fight, and it is not because you are anywhere near her level.
What did I miss?
Welcome back, Felicity!
The man you had me murder, he was Edward Fire's handler, and he worked for you. I think Mr. Catsmith had a USB drive on him detailing everything. I think he knew that you told Fires to shoot the plane down, and I think that you wanted him silenced.
And the world thinks you dead, Mr. Queen.
What about dead men who make arrangements to get the information on that USB drive in the hands of every blogger and journalist in this hemisphere? If anything happens to Maceo's family, then you're gonna spend a long time testifying in front of the Senate subcommittee.
Woo!
Edward Fires thought he was to shoot down that plane to destabilize the Chinese economy. In truth, I wanted to take out a single target.
So you blow up a plane full of innocent people to take out one man.
To take out one woman.
Chen Na Wei, and now she's in Hong Kong. I need to know why.
Notice that small exchange between Oliver and Waller. To take out one man, to take out one woman. It's a bit of a stretch, but think about that in the context of who killed Sarah. That's kind of the writers saying, let's not look at our male characters. A male character didn't do this. Let's take a look at all of our female characters as our suspects. Again, it's a bit of a stretch, but if that's what they were doing here, that's very clever.
I see you've been training and wearing a jacket.
If you're gonna stand there and tell me I'm not strong enough or tough enough, please don't.
Don't forget to turn your hips. It's where the power comes from.
And now she actually did it that time.
It's Sarah. Leave a message.
That is definitely not Katie Lotz's voice.
But I could use an assistant manager.
Remind me again, what position at the club did Oliver offer to Tommy in season 1?
It just so happens that I have a general manager position that is available.
I'm just saying, man, the theory of this being an intentional final season, the evidence is mounting up. You cannot ignore this many direct callbacks. I believe season 3 was intended as a final season, and at this point, it's getting very, very hard to change my mind about that.
Thank you, Dad.
She called him Dad! I guess this is as good a time as any to point out that, yes, the accept deny call thing is on Thea's face here. You can see the light reflection off her cheek. Better hidden than the one in season 2, at least, and that's all I'm gonna credit them for, but an error is still an error. Oh, this is the first time we see the temple in Nanda Parbat! And might I just say, the CG on this is fucking gorgeous. I don't know how much of this is CG, if it's just the temple, or if it's the entire mountain range, or what. But this establishing shot is fucking gorgeous. It is beautiful. Okay, so this door just has spikes coming out of it. Like, I know the League of Assassins is extra, but what exactly is the point of this? Oh, Nyssa bows, dude.
Malcolm Merlyn is in Starling City.
Al-Sahir will face the League's justice, but for his crimes against our code.
But Sarah
Was never truly one of us.
Oh. So here we are introduced to Eros Raz Al Ghul, who is played by Matt Nable. Hot take, good casting. Not a lot of people know this, but it was going to be Liam Neeson. And I'm not just talking out of my ass about that, okay? I saw an article like a month ago where Liam Neeson confirmed that it was supposed to be him as Roz, but they had to recast due to scheduling conflicts. They really wanted to get Liam Neeson, and he just couldn't make it happen. But you know what? I have so much respect for them that they tried, man. That's sick. I also want to point out Roz is getting out of the Lazarus pit in this scene. So remember how I called special attention to that digital Lazarus getting revived from the dead line in the last episode? Yeah, Exhibit A of that being foreshadowing. And here we also get our first look at the demon's head ring. This is the symbol of whoever holds the title of Ra's al Ghul. At least it is in the Arrowverse. I'm not sure if this is also a canon factor of other DC properties.
What of Queen?
He has sworn to protect Merlyn at any cost.
Then Oliver Queen courts war with us.
I'm gonna go ahead and acknowledge my own bias right out the gate here. I do think this is Season 3's least good episode so far. However, that might just be because I know the incoming twist. This episode tries to draw a connection between Oliver and Nyssa as they both grieve the loss of the woman they loved, but that never goes anywhere because the episode is so enamored with the fact that Malcolm Merlyn is back. And so much of the shit Malcolm does in this episode just does not get explained. For example, when Oliver tags Malcolm with the tracking nanites, how is Malcolm able to figure out what they are, figure out how to overwrite their code, fool them into going off at a bogus location, and then hack Oliver's comms all in the span of a few hours tops? Sure, it feels like Season 1 Malcolm to check his suit for tracking devices after he gets tagged with a flesh wound, since he knows Oliver could have hit him if he wanted to. But how does that explain everything else? Are we supposed to assume that he ditched his outfit in the AC factory without the nanites giving him away before then? And I don't think I'm nitpicking that, because it's a major part of the episode. That event is what causes Oliver and Malcolm to have their conversation in the crowd, which leaves Oliver to believing that Malcolm didn't kill Sarah. It is a major part of the episode and the first half of the season. And by the way, it's not the only question in this episode that goes unanswered. Anytime there's a question about anything in the episode, the answer is, Sarah told me off screen, or there's just no explanation at all. And in my opinion, there's some shit here that you really need to explain. How does Malcolm know about Oliver's Leon U prison? Why doesn't Oliver press Malcolm on whether or not he was in Corto Maltese with Thea? How can Malcolm just get into his office at Merlyn Global since he's legally a domestic terrorist? And why on God's green earth does Malcolm think that he can outsmart Ra's al Ghul when Ra's casually matches wits with Batman? I get the reason Oliver doesn't want to kill Malcolm, but any competent writer would know that Oliver claiming he can protect Malcolm from the League is asinine. Oliver may have fought people with super strength, but beating Malcolm in Season 1 nearly cost Oliver his life. And every other time he's fought League soldiers, he's had Sarah with him to basically carry that fight. On some level, Oliver has to know he stands no chance at stopping even one League soldier and that he's making an empty threat. And to the people that want to bring up the Russia flashbacks from Season 5 and Talia al Ghul, this episode was not written with those things in mind. That argument only works retroactively, and it can't be brought up when talking about the first 3, hell even the first 4 seasons in isolation. But man, what a disgrace this was to Malcolm. Knowing what's coming makes his motivation in this episode so backwards. Season 1, Malcolm loved Tommy to death and was willing to both sacrifice his own life and kill others to ensure Tommy's safety. Compared to that, Thea's not even his consolation prize, and it's very obvious that he only views her as the means to an end. Season 1 Malcolm is very much a magnificent bastard archetype, and in this season they ended up turning down his magnificence and cranking up the bastardness. But like, that's never who Malcolm was! Yeah, he was an asshole and he was very blunt in his manner of speech, but there was always a sense of humanity left in him because he genuinely loved Tommy. Especially with the knowledge of future episodes, this episode twists Malcolm into an unfeeling sociopath, which, like I said, was never the kind of character he was. However, as this new characterization sets in, the scores will gradually get higher. This is just such a shock that it genuinely doesn't feel like the character we know anymore, and I actively want to take points away for what it did to Malcolm. And with everyone else here being written average at best, I think my score here is kind of justified. The episode's major fight has some nice long takes with no cuts, which I always appreciate, but I felt the choreography and editing were pretty lacking. There's one part where Nyssa and Malcolm are fighting, and Oliver just backs off and ducks out of the way very awkwardly. Like, seriously, what is he even doing in this shot? And why was this the take the editors decided to go with? And as an additional point during that fight, unless you slow it down and look at it frame by frame like I had to, how are you supposed to know that Oliver shoots an explosive arrow behind Malcolm to get him to his knees? It just looks like Oliver shoots behind Malcolm, and then Malcolm just falls over for no reason. That definitely could have used some better editing or better directing. And like, that really sucks for me to say because I know John Baring can direct great episodes. He directed The Odyssey and the season 2 finale. And so this episode kinda stands out like a sore thumb. Then again, he also directed Birds of Prey, and this episode definitely falls more along that line. There's a few cool shots, there's a few awkward shots, a surprising amount of things blocking the camera in important scenes. So on the whole, I'm gonna give the episode a pretty average score here. I'm scoring importance on the lower end because while there are a few major events in this episode, Malcolm's return to Starling, the introduction of Roz, Nyssa encouraging Laurel to train, there's a significant chunk of the episode that's just treading water. This is most apparent in the conversations that happen throughout the episode, mostly the ones in the bunker. Oliver doesn't want to kill Malcolm for all the reasons. Everyone else thinks he should for all the reasons. Rinse, repeat. It's the same argument every few scenes. The fact that I can summarize this episode in one sentence by saying, Malcolm is back and pretends he had nothing to do with Sarah's death, honestly makes me sad, because this is an episode where Oliver, the main villain of Season 1, and one of Season 2's breakout characters have a 1v1v1 fight. Honestly, I'm only giving it a 3 because we are way too early in the season to be handing out 2s, and very technically, this episode does set up the mid-season finale. I don't know, man, I think this is the weakest episode of Season 3 so far. It got a few laughs out of me, some of which were intentional, some of which were unintentional, but to me, this is the Tremors of Season 3. I didn't set out to hate this episode, but man, the rating system just was not kind here. I've certainly seen worse episodes, but I've also seen much, much better ones. How is it that Guggenheim and the writer of Salvation wrote this episode? I don't have a lot of thoughts for the end of the episode here, so I would instead like to present you with a meme. I hope you now understand the reason I included the conversation between Oliver and Akio in this episode was just to set up this joke in my wrap-up segment. You're welcome. And by the way, it took me way too long to find the right smoke bomb sound effect from Randy Cunningham 9th grade ninja, so I really hope someone other than me got a laugh out of that. But anyway, that is it for this episode, guys. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. That'd be greatly appreciated. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, so that you can join us as soon as freaking possible. And while I'm plugging everything else, be sure to click the bell so that you get notified whenever we upload one of these crappy videos. But apart from that, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys. This is Demigod Shmurda. Edge!